Yeah, welcome back to Vince Pharma again. We have completed epithelial tissue and connective tissue. Now let's read about muscular tissue, which is responsible for movement and blood pumping. Okay, now let's read about muscular tissue. Muscular tissue is responsible for contraction and relaxation, and it helps in movement of skeletal system. When bones are attached to muscles, this causes when bones are attached to muscle, this causes movement and locomotion of the body like run, walk, etc. and generation of force and heat. Okay, now I am writing, so I am using some force to write. Okay, like that. Now what are types of muscular tissue? There are three types of muscular tissue. There are skeletal muscular tissue, smooth muscular tissue and cardiac muscular tissue. Skeletal muscular tissue are attached to the bones by tendons. The connection between the bone and muscle here in skeletal system, a skeletal muscular tissue is called tendon, and each cell is stratified cell because it has lines on it. Okay, and its shape is longitudinal and cylindrical, long longitudinal cylindrical. Okay, and it is made up of actin and myosin proteins. Okay, and each cell has multiple nucleus, means you have many nucleus in each cell. Okay, then coming to, let's see the structure of muscle. This is, let's assume that it is a muscle bundle. From this bundle you have many cells, many skeletal muscle tissues. So let's take one out of it, and each muscle is called from bundle we will take fascicle, and each have many in that. Okay, then muscle fibers, then you have muscle fibers, these are called muscle fibers. Okay, then what are its action, what it helps means it is responsible for posture and movement of the body. Skeletal muscle is responsible for posture and movement of the body, and it is attached to the bones. Now coming to smooth muscle cell. What is smooth muscle cell? These are not attached to the bones directly, that are like inner lining of the wall. That means like GIT in respiratory, blood vessels, urinary tract, reproductive organs, etc. And these are also made up of actin and myosin. These are unstratified muscles. That means here you have stratified muscles, here you have unstraighted muscle, have single nucleus and no lines. If it is a tissue, it is having only one nucleus, and it is not having straight lines on it. You have lines on skeletal muscle cells. These are involuntary, they are involuntary and controlled by autonomic nervous system. Okay, and here, whereas coming to skeletal muscle tissue, these are voluntary muscles controlled by somatic nervous system. Then what are its functions? Smooth muscle cells function. It helps in peristalsis, that means movement of GIT to go what we eat, food and substances that should leave to stomach. So it helps in peristalsis movement, vasoconstriction and vasodilation, which maintains BP, contraction of urinary bladder to release urine, contraction of uterus, and this helps in birth. Bones relaxation అవుతూ ఉంటే birth అనేది ఈజీగా అవుతుంది అనమాట. That helps where smooth muscle contraction helps in childbirth. Next, coming to the last one, cardiac muscle tissue. It is a special type of muscle tissue which is found in myocardium, the middle layer. Epicardium, myocardium, endocardium. You have in the myocardium. You can find this type of cardiac muscle tissue in the myocardium, that is the middle layer of the heart. There are striated and or called tripod, means you have lines and with single nucleus. It is made up of actin and myosin, which is having more mitochondria, because heart always needs some energy to pump blood to the body parts. So more mitochondria is present in the cell. Then these show continuous and rhythmic contraction and relaxation. these muscles will show continuous and rhythmic contraction and relaxation for heartbeat, to produce heartbeat. These are involuntary in control. Then it is controlled by ANS system, autonomic nervous system. Then what is its function? Its function is blood pump. Now coming to nervous tissue. Nervous tissue, this is the major and important part of tissues. Here, what is nervous tissue? It is a highly specialized type which makes nervous system. These tissues combine to form a system which is called nervous system. Nervous system. Nervous tissue includes brain, spinal cord, peripheral nerves. That means here you have brain and this is spinal cord. Then you will have some neurons which are attached to the various body parts. So these are called peripheral nerves, and these are made up of neurons and glial cells, which is responsible for support and nutrition. And you have neurons. You basically know the structure of neuron. Here you have neuron, that is the basic structural and functional units of tissue. These neurons combine. That means you have numerous number of tissues attached to the axon terminals and dendrites. The another one is present here, the another one is present here. So combinedly it will form a nervous nervous system. What are its types? Those are three types. These are of mainly three types: sensory neurons, interneurons, and motor neurons. Yeah. Coming to types, the sensory neurons which transmit sensory info. And if you pinch here, then the brain responds. Then that is called transmission of sensory info receptors to the CNS is called sensory neuron. What are interneuron? These are also called as associated neurons which are present in CNS. Helps to understand అసలు ఇక్కడ ఏమైంది, ఇక్కడ గిచ్చడం జరిగింది అని దీని ఇంటర్న్యూరాన్స్ అనేవి అర్థం చేసుకుంటాయి అన్నమాట. దెన్ కమింగ్ టు మోటార్ న్యూరాన్స్. దీస్ హెల్ప్ ఇన్ డిఫెన్స్. ఇక్కడ గిచ్చుతున్నారని తెలిసి యూ హ్యావ్ టు టేక్ ఆర్ యూ హ్యావ్ టు సే నో. That is done by motor neurons. Defense from CNS. What it helps? Functions and control. You have mainly two types. These are made up of nervous tissue is made up of neurons and glial cells. What are glial cells? Glial cells are surrounded by neurons and provide support and protection and nourish. ఇవన్నీ ఫంక్షన్ కావడానికి గ్లియల్ సెల్స్ హెల్ప్ అవుతాయి అన్నమాట. సపోర్ట్ ఇస్తుంది, అర్థం చేసుకుంటుంది, అండ్ ఇట్ విల్ కంట్రోల్ ఇట్ విల్ వెదర్ ఇట్ ఈస్ రైట్ ఆర్ రాంగ్. నౌ అండ్ your basic diagram which is already familiar to you in 10th standard or in biology, etc. So you have to compulsory draw if your question is asked like nervous tissue. In next video I will provide the important questions of tissue system and cell organelles, etc. Okay, thank you for the video.